Thank you. All right, now we'll play something a little more lighthearted. But not for long. I think I need to take some time out, and I wanna turn my phone off. I just wanna be alone. Just let me be alone today. I'm saving all my extra money, go asking what they never buy me. Why do I feel so sick and tired? I'm sick and tired every day. People try to push me around, run my name straight in the ground. I can hear them, it's in them now, and it's turning them way down low. The only thing I have on is the radio. The only thing I have on is the radio. Don't get confused about how I feel. Don't let them fool you about what is real. I think the whole world's going crazy, and it makes us look insane. But all this thinking makes my head hurt, and all this running makes my feet hurt. I work my back right off my shirt, kick off my shoes and run away. People try to push me around, change my face and change my sound. But I can hear them, it's in them now, and it's turned them way down low. The only thing I have on is the radio. The only thing I have on is the radio. The only thing I have on is the radio. Only thing I have on is the radio. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to KCRW. My name's Litt, and we are so thrilled and honored to welcome Margo Price to KCRW HQ, live from KCRW HQ. Hi.
Thank you. Hello.
I've had the privilege to chat with Margo over the years a few different times. When you and I first met, it was Midwest Farmer's Daughter, and you came to KCRW, and actually we did the session at the Village, and Margo and I went up on the roof, and we talked a lot about your son, who you lost, and about motherhood, and how are you? How are your babies?
They're great. I miss them so much. I mean, it's really, it's a challenge. It's a double-edged sword, I think.
Do they come out with you, or they need to go to school?
They do sometimes. I'm on a 5-week tour right now, and so I'm going to be away from them for quite a while, but they are going to come out when we play First Avenue in Minneapolis. But you know, it's some days, like we just had a bus drive through the desert. We were on there for 19 hours, and we stopped at a Del Taco
And that was the day, you know. It is like, it can be arduous, it can be grueling. I think a lot of people think that like we get to live the hotel life, and it's like, no, we're like rolling out at 2 or 3 in the morning. You're sleeping on a moving vehicle, and sometimes it's tough for little kids, but they are going to come out. My mom's going to come out. We are going to have 14, maybe 15 people on a bus.
Along the working mom thing, so the song Radio, and I was hoping Sharon could come tonight, but I think she had a childcare situation.
She went home and put her baby to bed after we did the late night. She sent me a photo. She said, made it home in time for story time.
So Sharon is on with Margo tonight at James Corden, and I tried to get her to come here tonight, and I was like, Zeke, please, you know. Anyway, she couldn't come tonight because she was going home to put her baby to bed, but one of the things about the song Radio, which has nothing to do with childcare, but there's an album from Rosanne Cash called 7 Year Ache from like 1981. And listening to the song Radio, I was like, Rosanne Cash, for some reason, there's something there. And I want to know if there's something there for you with Rosanne.
I love that because, and I do love Rosanne. I actually had the pleasure to sing that song with her in Albuquerque. No, 7 Year Ache. Yeah, at the Ghost Ranch at Georgia O'Keeffe's like property out there, and I was saying the harmony.
Oh, I had no idea. I was just listening
to the 7 Year Ache. Yeah, so good. No. But I was trying to rip off Springsteen. And maybe like Joni Mitchell, You Turn Me On, I'm a Radio. There was like several things that were kind of going through my head, and I was in a really bad mood for like a week straight. And then finally that song kind of came to me when I was walking in the woods, and sent it to Sharon and asked her to kind of help me fix it up. And she changed some really crucial words and some phrases, and then laid down all those incredible harmonies. I look up to her so much. Her writing, I think her records are incredible. And I was so grateful that she lent her beautiful voice to my album.
She's amazing. And I look forward to having her to KCRW as soon as we can. We've been trying to get her here for a long time, and COVID kind of screwed that up. But it's interesting what you say about Rosanne Cash. The other touchstone, I would say, is listening to the song Lydia, which you sang tonight. Actually, can you tell us a little bit about that song? Because it's very Townes Van Zantian to me.
Thank you. I'll take that anytime.
Will you tell us about that song?
Yeah, I wrote that song quite a while ago. I wrote it several years ago, and I remember I just happened to have like my phone recording because I felt something kind of like bubbling up in there. And then I just sat down and all the words came out. Like at one point, I didn't have anything written really on the paper. And it was kind of one of those strange moments because that doesn't happen for me. Usually I'm kind of like wrestling with the words and everything. But I'd been in Vancouver, and there was like a methadone clinic. There was a needle exchange out behind the venue, and the owners were like, hey, be really careful. Like, don't walk barefoot because there's needles on the ground. And it was just, I think a lot of people there were, just struggling with addiction. And it was like a really eerie feeling. But I had heard this Greg Brown song that was like kind of rattling around in my head. And then when I sent it to Jeremy, he told me that it reminded him of Townes Van Zandt Marie. And I just thought that was like the best compliment ever. And I have listened to enough Townes that, it's seeped into my subconscious.
Clinic, wonder what your face would be like. Mascara bleeding into my eyes. Tied like a dog on a chain with a midlife crisis and an ex-husband. Sneaking a Marlboro Ultralight I stole from a nurse out there in the alley. Halfway home's where the heart is. and I'm halfway home. White trash, trailer trash, they said you'd always be it, and you said one day you'll see. But lately you start to wonder if maybe they were right. Spit on you at school, outside, and in the locker room, and in the bathroom too. Locked you in the stall, bless this mess. Can I bum a light? The cars out on the LA freeway, they look like red light Christmas lights strung out on a chain. The ex-Virgin Mary of 49th Street has a pocket full of pills. She sold herself for synthetic heroin and started sleeping with a man about twice her age. Really, though, it was anything but sleeping. Nice neighbors, bad cough, no health insurance this year, transitional neighborhood. Don't go barefoot or take a nap out there, wear shoes if you have. Methadone clinic, children, close your eyes. Say a lullaby or think of a nursery rhyme, or maybe something your mama used to tell you when you couldn't sleep. Jill fell down when the bow breaks. Oh, the cradle will fall. Down will come, baby, down will come, baby, down will come, baby. Just put out the cigarette. Just make a decision, Lydia. Just make a decision. It's yours. Close your eyes and make a wish. Hear the whisper of God. He used to talk like you. You used to see his face in the clouds. Now I see your face in my mind. It's wrong for him to want it. Bless this mess. Brush your hair. Fix yourself up real nice. You got a show tonight. Singing down at the broken bottle, halfway in shifts. Get the guys a couple of beers. Go on, get the food. Living off tips and meth. And I came home after dancing one night, and I wrecked my car, so you have to take the bus now. So you've got a long walk to think about it. A long walk to the station. A long life ahead to live with yourself. So think about it, Lydia. Think about it, Lydia.
I want to ask you about Jonathan Wilson. He produced Margo's album. Can you tell us about that? And they recorded a bunch in Topanga. And was it in his studio or?
Yes.
So will you tell us a little bit about that? Because this group in particular will be interested.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I feel like people that know Jonathan, they get it. They know. He is so brilliant. I have loved the records that he has made on his own, and I've loved all the records he's done with Father John Misty. And when I started making this album, I spoke with several different producers, some really big name folks, and I'm not going to drop any of them. Because Jonathan, I knew right away. I knew when I spoke with him, I knew that he was the one. And everybody in my band, they have a big bromance for him. Like my drummer showed me his albums quite a while back, and so it's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. He was so easy to work with. It just doesn't feel like work with him.
There's something that I think there's a psychedelic thing going on, and we didn't get into the whole mushroom thing, which you can talk about another time.
You've heard me talk about mushrooms if you've listened to anything from this cycle.
And Margo and I will be out in the loading dock after this doing mushrooms if you all want to talk more about it. But
I actually got to get rid of some before I go to Canada.
Okay, so you can kick them my way. But what I was going to say is I didn't realize Jonathan had done the album, and then I was listening to it, and there's like a Desert Raven thing going on, and there's a psychedelic thing going on, and I was like, there's some spin on the ball here, and I know all of your work, and I was, not that you haven't had spin on the ball before, there was something, and...
Yeah, he can make really lush arrangements without it seeming like overproduced. And it really was the way that we worked. It was like, I knew that he was the one that could take me to outer space once we got those weird songs written. My husband and I took a whole lot of mushrooms when we started writing this record. And I think this next one is a real testament to that. This happened the next morning after we came down off the ceiling. And inspired by Sam Shepard, book about the mountain. That's right. What goes up must come down. Here's Been to the Mountain.
I got nothing to prove, I got nothing to sell. I'm not buying what you got, I ain't ringing no bells. I got a myth in my pocket, got a bullet in my teeth. I'm going straight in the fight, I wanna talk to the high priest. Used to be a lover, a queen and a drifter, a cowboy devil, a bride and a boxer, a pilgrim and a thief, but it was me under me. I just know who I'm not, and that's alright with me. Alright, alright. Can't tell me nothing, baby, that's a fact. I have been to the mountain and back. Alright, alright. Well, I wish I was God, but I'm glad that I'm not. 'Cause I think too much, got my head in a knot. The world's on fire, better save your brother. I've been a child and I've been a mother. I've been a victim and I've been a tumor. Used to be a waitress, but now I'm a consumer. I've been on food stamps, having out of my mind. I rolled a dirty dollar, stood in the welfare line. I've been a number, I've been under attack. I have been to the mountain and back. Alright, alright. I've been a dancer, a saint, an assassin. I've been a nobody, a truck driver, shaman. So many seasons that I've been adrift. Sometimes I wonder if I even exist. Do you ever walk down the street and do you think to yourself, man, is that a cop, man? Am I on the list? Well, I've called every name in the book, honey. Go on, take your best shot. Take your best shot, take your best shot. When I got my back to it, aim in my heart. Go on, take your best shot now. I'm the hunter, I'm the hunter. I am a baby unwanted. I'm an alchemist teacher, I'm a sinner, I'm a preacher. And I know that there's more out here than this as I stare in the void of the black magic vacuum. I know the scent of death like a perfume. No, this ain't the end. This ain't the end, this ain't the end, this ain't the end. Oh, take off your tight eyes and dress your holy thighs, 'cause I have been to the mountain. I have been to the mountain. I have been to the mountain. I have been to the mountain and back. Alright, alright. Can't tell me nothing, baby, that's a fact. I have been to the mountain and back. Alright, alright. You all feeling alright? Groovy. Thank you.
What was the hardest song to write on this album and why? And then I will let you go.
Oh, the hardest song to write on this album. I think Hell in the Heartland, I was really going through kind of just this personal reckoning and really feeling every word of that. And I had like 10 different verses, and Lawrence helped me kind of chop it up and put them in. But I was going through some dark times. I was like when I was kind of stopping my drinking, and it has a darkness to it, but it's like really cathartic. I like the darkness. I think get as close to it as you can.
Hell in the Heartland, you all. Margo Price. Margo.
Thank you all so much for being here.
Margo, thank you for coming to KCRW.
Thank you, Anne.
I so appreciate it.
And I woke up this morning, something wasn't right. If the truth amounts to nothing, I guess we lost the fight. We've been building something intangible. All we had was faith. Some days I wanna destroy it all, watch it blow away. And you're everything I want. Someone I don't want anymore. tried to fill it up.